Okay, folks, this is an achocha pod. I did a video on it, well, a couple of times I did a video on it, or at least mentioned it. This is a pod that's about 1.5 to 2 inches long. This is the stage where it tastes like a cucumber, okay? Now, and you can eat the whole thing just like this. Those spiky things are really soft. So, what I usually do is just take a bite. But I'm going to open it up to show you what it looks like when it's at the cucumber tasting stage. And that's what it looks like inside. It's kind of pithy, and the seeds are soft, and it's got that membrane in there. And just like a very sweet cucumber, folks, and you can eat the whole thing. So right now I've got several of them on there. They just started developing within the past 3 or 4 days. They'll grow really fast. And when they're about 4 to 6 inches long, they're more mature and they'll be hollow with black seeds in them, and they're heirloom. Remember, they're heirloom, but they'll be very similar to if you open up a green bell pepper. That white stuff will disappear and the seeds will come up through the center, and it'll be hollow like a bell pepper, and it'll taste like a green bell pepper, folks. And what I do is cut them lengthwise and take the seed out and put a little hamburger in there and a little sauce in there and some cheese on top, folks, and then throw it on the grill. It is super, super, super good. So, and when we get to that stage, the more mature stage, I'll do another video on it, alright? Hello, folks. See this thing here? Whoops. It's old, old. This right here was from my youth generation, and found it when we was cleaning out my stepdad's garage. No idea where it came from, but I remember having one of these on my little tricycle. Remember those days? Remember, life was so simple back then. I promised you another video. It's going to be short. I would really like to take my rubber boots off and put my feet up, folks. I really would like to do that, and maybe catch up on some comments under the videos for a ways back, folks. For a ways back. I did get a nice email today from one of the new subscribers. Thank you very much. I usually don't have time to respond to many emails. I do the best I can. I usually do that over morning coffee on my days off, usually. Mosquitoes are just insane, folks. They're just insane. So please be patient. Email away. I've been conversing with a lot of people in email, and I think a lot of us would get along rather well if we lived close together. We would help each other. We have the same mindset. We have the same work ethic, which is always nice, folks. And now is the time to start building community. We have this YouTube community, right, where we lend a lot of support, and that's all wonderful. So is in a local community, folks. My God, the mosquitoes. Local community is really nice too, so I hope you are building those. At least get to know your neighbors. And if your neighbors are, as one emailer put it, scumbags. That's not a word that I usually, a term that I usually use, but that's what they used. And yeah, I've had some pretty awful neighbors, ones that I could not trust, and I know what that's like. It's really nice, like living the way I do with only with only family for neighbors. You know, you can trust them, and everybody's got a key to everybody's house, and it's just we all trust each other. So that's a nice thing to have. Not everybody has that. So I hope if you have a community, you are a community is one thing. Building that trust is another, because a lot of us have trust issues, and I have trust issues, folks. Sometimes I just have to talk to myself, saying, "Listen, you got to trust somebody outside your bubble," and so far it usually works out pretty good. But all it takes is one to spoil that, right? So, you know, build your community. Make sure you know who is in your community. Build that trust, making sure you're all on the same page. Um, some think that we are really going to need communities in order to survive. Depends on what's happening. Others feel that they've got enough community with their immediate family, friends, and neighbors. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how big a community needs to be, or any of that. I know that Guinea, folks, Guinea. I know that a community is really nice in general to have people that you know have your back and you have theirs, and you're all like-minded, and you trust them, right? That's, to me, that's the most important. That if you are in need, you know they've got your back, and vice versa. And I know of one group that have their own like walkie-talkie CB channel, and right down to they have their codes, and they practice their codes and their drills, which is good. I think it's no different than practicing a fire drill, right? So I think that's awfully nice. And if it's never needed, it's never needed. But if it's needed, everything is in place. Everybody knows where they need to be and what they need to do, and their meeting spot, and right down to the nitty-gritty. It's never going to hurt at all to do that. I do not have that in place here. I have a certain way of doing things here, and we're all on the same page here, so it really makes a big difference. So do I think there should be more planning? Yes, I do. Do I think there's ever enough planning? No, I don't. Just like I don't think you can have too much food. I don't think you can learn too many skills. Seriously, the only way you can have too much food is if you fill up everything in your living space and you have no place to move. That's when, and it becomes unsafe. That's when I think you may have too much food, and then you should think outside the box, and you shouldn't have everything all in one spot anyway, right? Just in case. What if you had everything in your house and something happens to your house? Do you think, like a fire, if something happens and your house catches on fire, and all your supplies are in there for 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years? Some people have more than that, folks. Do you think before you have to vacate the building, do you think you're going to get all those years worth of supplies out? Probably not. So it's always good to have it in another in another location that you know is safe, that is cool, dry, and preferably dark, right? Climate controlled would be even better. So it's just a lot of areas to think about, a lot of areas to cover, and sometimes when you think you've covered all your bases, you find that you're missing some vital places that you could tidy up, right? So I am getting bitten alive, folks, so I am going to go. And I'm going to cut out the rambling, because I know I've rambled quite a bit here. And try to make this about 10 minutes, all right? So thank you for any new subscribers. Thank you for all that are emailing me. Thank you for all that are sending me lovely gifts in the mail. Thank you so much. thank you for all the comments, and thank you for being patient. And mostly, thank you for all your support in this community, on this channel, toward other folks that are like-minded. We all need to stick together because we're all in this together, right? So even if it's support from Missouri, hi Kimmy, even if it's support from Missouri or way out in the desert, hey Jazz, or way up in Nova Scotia, no matter where we in Australia, no matter where we are in Switzerland, Norway, Finland, I could just name every state because I think there's at least one person in here from every state, and a lot of people from around the world and just about every country. So I've got two guinea here. So y'all have a good day, good evening. It's toward the evening. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And y'all be good. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.